Leonard Dozier. I'm playing Troy Maxson in Fences at Open Stage in Harrisburg. For those of you that may not be aware of who August Wilson was and his legacy, he was certainly, by the time of his death, one of America's foremost playwrights, and certainly its preeminent African-American playwright. He wrote a 10-play cycle, which we call the Century Cycle. All of his stories are sort of based in Pittsburgh, where Wilson was from. And it basically chronicles life, Black Americans' lives from the latter part of the 19th century all the way up until the early part of the 21st century, or the latter part of the 20th century. So it's a 10-play cycle that explores every decade. And I think what Wilson does phenomenally through all of his characters is really capture each decade, each of the moments of those decades that were pivotal to that time, and he finds a way to relate them to his stories. And I think Fences is a fine indication of that. We're talking about the 50s. We're talking about, again, in 1954 you had the Brown versus Board of Education decision, so you certainly had this dichotomy in America where segregation was starting to be diluted a bit because of that law, but yet it still was very much extant. And you see very much how this affects one man, Troy Maxson, who was this dynamic figure, this former Negro League star, and how much that played into his life and his brokenness and bitterness. And so certainly the Negro Leagues by that time had started to dissipate in some ways, and so Wilson is certainly a writer who captures clearly and very profoundly the times, and I think he probably does that, if not better, as good as any other playwright that has ever existed. Fences opens February 7th and closes March 1st at Open Stage in Harrisburg. I look forward to seeing you there.